Well, I've got a beef on the grill and a high flame. Well, that means I've hit a cow. I'm driving along, I've hit a cow. So the cow's hit the grill on the front of the lorry. And I've got a high flame, which means I've got a red face. Because I've hit the cow. That's what it all means. That's an American thing. But I also had some other funny things happen. We have some rotten things happen to us. But this lady comes round and she always buys toys, fluffy toys for her dog to play with, and tends to tear them up. So she's always buying them. And she said one day she came round. She said, "I got a parrot now." I said, "Oh, have you?" I said, "I've just had a load of parrot food come in." "You ain't." I said, "I have." "Come and have a look." And she said, "Parrot food?" I said, "Yeah." I said, and you can have it very inexpensive. It's not going to be a lot of money, and it's got a good date on it and all. She said, "What's it called?" I said, "Polyfiller." Polyfiller. When I picked myself up. Anyway, there's another one. A chap come round. He said, "I've got a load of gear, bent gear." I said, "No." I said, "I don't do that anymore, mate." A bloke I used to know years ago. Thought I was still the same. I changed a bit. Anyway, I said, "Sorry, mate, don't do it. Don't deal with any bent gear at all." "It's all going to charity. You can have half each." "No, sorry. I'm not going to do it, mate. It's not right." So I said, "Well, anyway, what is it, this bent gear?" So he said, "Bananas and boomerangs." Bit of fun goes on. We do have a laugh. Older people come round, and we have quite a lot of fun with them. And a lot of people are well pleased with what they get and for the price of it, because I try and keep it a low rate, as low as I can, by saying, "Well, give us what you can afford and I'll leave it to them." And then sometimes I get even more than I would have asked for normally. Pardon me, Lord. And so there's a lot of fun as well as a lot of nasties going on. You know, people stealing stuff and not bringing the money in that they promised me and things like that. But you know, I get a bit annoyed with people stealing stuff and not paying their way, but I end up praying for them, because they need a lot of help. Anybody who goes in the shed and nicks stuff out of there needs a lot of help. And who am I to say? You know, I've done that sort of same thing myself. So who am I to say about, you know, what am I? You know, people say cut their hands off and all that. You know, I've done it myself, so cut my hands off then, you know. I can't say anything about it. I just have to pray to God to help them. But on the other hand, we do have a lot of fun as well.
So, if you could say, what's made you the person you are today?
Well, first of all is when I stopped drinking. And what started that off was I did go to a rehabilitation centre for 6 months to help me to get off it. So I was lucky I got a place there to go to. And I was sitting in the pub talking to people about my faith and that, and I fell off the seat drunk, and then people were pointing down, "Look at him, he's supposed to be a Christian man, you know, look at him laying there, disgusting." And when I was told about it, it really got to me, that did. I thought, well, I'd reached what they call rock bottom. And from that day on, I stopped drinking. But on top of that, the best thing that could have happened to me is starting to go to church and becoming a Christian. I did a lot of alpha courses to help me out, because I lost all knowledge of my faith I had no knowledge of faith at all. It all in the past from a kid. So I did several of these alpha courses, and
Carry on.
and that's what helped me when I woke up and I stopped drinking. Because of that, I felt more ashamed about that than anything. Trying to talk about religion and then falling over drunk, and then you know, it wasn't only hurting me, it was hurting other people as well, and that really got into me, that did. So from then on, things started getting better.
What made you drink?
Oh, I suppose we can go back 40 years for a start. It was, I got engaged and was in Germany. She was in Germany with me. She was in the army as well. And she got posted to Belgium. So I used to drive from Germany down to Belgium. And wasn't far, it was only sort of hour and a half's ride, because it was nearer Germany than just through Holland into Belgium, and it was there. But she decided to, she found another chap after we got engaged, and well, that happened over 40 years ago, and I'll tell you now that still hurts. And that's 40 years ago. So, as they say, time heals. I don't know so much. But anyway, that was one of the reasons for getting drunk, drinking. And when you start drinking, gradually, after a time, it takes you over. It takes you over. Whatever you do, it takes you over. And that's when you become an alcoholic, when you can't do without it. So it wasn't only for myself, it was because of an alky. I needed the booze to continue to carry on. And many other things I did, I regretted. Stealing from everybody around me and to get money for the booze. Pretty bad life really. But it turned out that once I joined the church and started getting a bit sensible, it's much better now. So there you are.
Any other questions from back there?
Time in the army.
What would you like in the army? What were you doing in the army?
Mostly I was in the Royal Army Service Corps, and driving. We supplied, when I was in Aden, we supplied people, the Royal Commandos Royal Marine Commandos on the Yemen border, and we used to supply them supplies, driving out from Aden up to the border of the Yemen and do supplies for them, and that was our job, supplies. And I made corporal twice. I got busted and made up again. So, and learnt a lot about vehicles, the army ways of the paperwork and stuff like that. I learnt quite a lot. I passed my second class education, which was equivalent to the 11 plus, which I never passed at school. So I was quite pleased with having passed the second class education. I did 3 drill courses that included teaching drill, teaching weapons, self-loading rifle, 303, Bren, Sten, Sterling, rocket launchers and grenades. So I learned all about those things, which wasn't a lot of good when I come out. Going into Civvy Street, it didn't do me a lot of good in Civvy Street, but that was, and saw a lot of places, went all over Europe and the Middle East, saw a lot of places, and places I would never have seen if I hadn't gone in there. And towards the end of my service is when she went with this other bloke, so I decided not to do 22 years. I'd come out when I'd done 9. So that was a bit of a regret after a time, because I could have had another pension. But that was the way it is. I stopped regretting things about the past, because there's not one thing you can do about it. What's happened's happened. You can't do anything about it, so let it go. Don't regret it. Get on with life now and go forward. That's my answer to that.